This podcast is going to be getting to know you.
It is.
I'm going to ask probably about 5 questions this whole time. We've got 40 minutes because I know that you're just going to keep talking throughout all of it.
We shall see.
For people that don't know you, how do you describe yourself?
Oh, God, that's... Ooh.
Well, no, what do you do?
I am a full-time personal trainer, fitness coach. I've been doing it for 3 years now.
Yeah, we said, 3 or 4 in the other pod?
Yeah, so 3 or 4 years. Been training myself at the gym for 11 or 12 years now. And prior to that, you know, sport was like my life as a kid. So you could say I've lived a pretty active lifestyle, and I kind of transferred my passions into my job, which I think is everybody's dream, right?
Yeah.
Word.
I mean, you probably get to a point that, you either forced into doing what you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Or you live long enough to...
Miserable in.
You die before.
You die.
Was that ever a difficult decision to do what you actually enjoy?
Yeah, well, you know what, to be honest, man, like, I feel like with the UK's like school system, you're kind of forced to make a decision in what you want to do so early on. And I remember being at school and like, I really wanted to do sports science. Like my original plan, right, was to do sports science at Loughborough, you know, smash my A-levels. It just wasn't the case. Like,
Which one? What, the A-levels?
Both.
Oh. I mean, one does lead to the other, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I really struggled at school. And my original plan, I took biology and PE and then English and psychology for A-level. Ended up dropping biology within like the first 2 weeks because all we were doing was plant science, and I love physiology. I like human biology. And I was like, this is whack. I'm not doing this. And, you know, my PE A-level, it was all physiology and it was sick. So anyway, long story short, I knew I wasn't going to do very well in my A-levels because I hadn't figured out a perfect revision technique for myself. And, you know, I'd tried a lot of things, but, you know, you reach your A-levels and I just kind of came to acceptance that I was going to get cooked. So my friend applied to a certain uni. I won't name the name, but she got an unconditional. And I was like, right, because we were kind of like on par with each other. And I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do that as well. And they didn't offer what I kind of wanted to do, like the sports science direction. So I actually thought about kind of my other hobbies, and I love fashion. And I thought, let's get a marketing degree as well, because that's only going to help me with potential future prospects. Like, I was like, do I want to get a job in fashion? Do I want to get a job in sport? Do I want to work for an activewear brand or something? So I chose to do fashion buying with marketing. So yes, my original plan was maybe to potentially go into the fashion industry. First year in uni, I was kind of taking my training even more seriously, and I was becoming quite friendly with quite a lot of the PTs that worked at the gym at my uni, and I realised, I was like, this is the dream, this is what I want to do, because I love helping. I've always been someone who's loved helping people, and combining that with my passion for movement, and like basically the way I always put it with, like, if someone asks me like, why do you do your job, it's, yes, obviously there's physical benefits that come with it, aesthetic benefits that come with it, but for me it's the effect of movement for your mind, and like how much it can make your day even like 1% better, right? You're having a crap day, if your day's improved that 1%, like that's good, right? It's there's no kind of negative you can take from training, really, in my eyes. Obviously I'm sure other people have different opinions, but so I just thought, right, I want other people to feel the way I do when I train. Like, I want them to feel those endorphins, because I feel like, especially with the UK, it's getting better now, but people just don't or haven't moved enough. So much of the majority, and you know, our obesity rates in the UK aren't great. Like, obviously it's not like the States, but
yeah, it's not quite America.
And you know, our mental health, the mental health in the UK, like, of our population is awful. So there's one way that's like just one kind of route that you can take to help it, and I know how much it helps me. So anyway, long story short, that's why I did it.
Like I said, right, question number 2. No, honestly, no, I think it's, you know, it's such a, I mean, you know, having an aim in the fashion industry and the marketing, but to know that could contribute, or it can be used, you know, if you do change paths.
Exactly. I've always got that now, and I base my dissertation on activewear and sustainability within the activewear industry. So if I ever wanted to work for an activewear brand, I can still use that. Like, I've got it under my under my arm, you know.
How much security does that give you within? So you've been doing, PTing specifically for more than 3 years, which gives you enough, I assume, confidence to be like, okay, pretty decent at the job.
Yeah.
But then you've also got these other things that give you the freedom to.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of, I've got that option if I ever wanted to go a different route, which, some people do change their paths later on in their life, and I sound like some sort of guru. Change their but no, I think it's a good thing to have, and I'm also really proud of myself for kind of pursuing and sticking with my degree, because I'm quite indecisive person, and I can sometimes make quite rash decisions. Like I can jump into something quite quickly. So when I did decide I wanted to be a PT, I was also at uni when COVID was a thing. And I was thinking, this is just awful. Yeah. Rack out. But I was like, right, this is rubbish anyway.
Were you when did you start your degree? Baby.
So my first year, so I took a gap year. So my first year was when COVID was like.
So you had 6 months of normal uni and then shut down.
I went home in March.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember going on a holiday, like a ski trip in February with my dad and my brother and my stepmom. I came back and then the UK went into lockdown, and I was like, cool, this is perfect. And it was, I just thought I was at uni, and obviously like back then as well, like no one knew how severe it was really. There was kind of a lot of, everyone was really scared about it, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't want to be at uni with the potential of getting like really, really ill, and then like being on my own as well, because I lived in my own like accommodation, because that's a long story, but anyway, I had my own little studio.
That's cute.
Me being disorganized, I just didn't I didn't like.
You didn't go into halls?
I didn't. I missed the like application thing.
Oh, I see.
So when I went to apply for the specific accommodation that I really wanted, they'd all been taken. So I was like, oh well, damn. Studio it is.
You were one of those kind of like a mature student going into the weird ultra modern blocks. Was it like a Unite students block?
It was a really lovely block. It was called the Glassworks, and I had my eyes set on it like the whole time. Like I had friends that had been, so my friend went there the year before me, and she was like, this is the nicest accommodation.
Okay, that's good.
So I was like, right, well I have to go there then. And like all the others were, and I saw some of the other accommodation blocks, and it was so grim, man.
Oh, well, the accommodation block that I was in was terrible.
Right.
Like so horrid.
Jail cells, man.
We were fully what's it called, like catered for. And so we only had a kitchenette. No. We had 16 people on our floor. For reference, like I took a year out as well.
Yeah. We really found ourselves, didn't we?
And then I on my travelling that got completely cancelled.
Yeah, so I just went to Copenhagen with my family for 4 months.
Long holiday. But I came in 6 months into COVID, so we had pretty much, we were locked down 3 times in that year.
Literally second year, it was just we didn't go on campus. It was just lockdown, and also one of my housemates the second year had Crohn's, so we had to be even more careful.
Oh, right.
So whenever we get those NHS notifications because we'd maybe walk past someone in the supermarket with COVID, we were locked in our house for 2 weeks.
Tagged.
And I was like,
tagged in Tesco by someone's got COVID.
God, it
got
was
sneezed on.
It was savage. But anyway, that was uni, and so as we were saying, tangent.
This is what this podcast is going to be. I'll be able to bring it back.
Yeah, you are very good at that. Long story short, if I ever wanted to kind of go into that would be, at the moment, that would be like my only other potential interest. But I love what I do so much. I really don't see myself changing roles anytime soon. So there we go.
But you've also got other pursuits. So I guess let's before we go into, let's say, the bodybuilding side of things.
Oh yeah.
We can go into your early days as a kid.
Yes.
What kind of kid were you at school?
Hyperactive. Hyperactive and didn't stop talking.
Were you at the back of the class? Were you chewing on your jumper? Were you doing all of that, like your sleeves?
Biting my nails, man. I still am a nail biter, unfortunately.
We covered that in the second episode. I was listening back to it.
Spoke on my nail biting.
And we're talking about your stim.
Terrible habit, stimming. Terrible habit. I fiddle with my, sounds so weird, I fiddle with my hands quite a lot. I pick the skin of my fingers just because it's just something to do.
Yeah.
ADHD. by the way, just in case.
By the way,
just in case I hadn't touched upon that. But yeah, so at school, undiagnosed throughout the whole of my school life, like up until I went to uni, right? And yes, I was a very hyperactive kid, and hence why I really flourished. I thrived in PE.
Good.
I thrived in PE, and I thrived in music, and I liked drama and kind of arty stuff. It was creative, and I didn't have to kind of lock in to writing stuff. But all the academic stuff was a no-go for me. And yeah, I was fortunate enough in my primary school, I was at a private school girl. So that it was a bit easier where we had smaller classes, right? So I had a bit more attention on me from the teachers. Went to my grammar school from year 7 onwards, classes of 30 girls, and for me, to be honest, I was never disruptive in class, but I'd be a bit chatty, but I'd also just be very vacant. So you wouldn't that's probably why I was undiagnosed, right? You wouldn't necessarily see me as like the kind of stereotypical like ADHD person, because I would just zone out. I'd be thinking about other stuff, and then when the teacher hits you with okay, so anybody else? Charlotte, and they call you out, and you're like looking out of the window.
I wasn't here for the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, oh, it's the worst. Literally PTSD, man. It's so embarrassing because you just like you don't want to. I never wanted to cause any disruption in the class, so I'd be struggling, but I just wouldn't say anything. And then they call you out, and you're like, like you just don't know what to say. So yeah, no, when I was younger, I was a bit more like lively, and the family would go out for a meal, and I'd be the kid, that annoying kid, like cartwheeling in a restaurant and like running.
Cartwheeling?
Always being. Oh my god, my grandma brought it up the other day. From my granddad, I think.
At what age, please? When did you stop? When did you start to stop cartwheeling?
Okay. Well, I just became obsessed with that was a thing for me. I used to have hyperfixations when I was little. So my hyperfixations were gymnastics, horses, dogs, cats, hamsters, on repeat.
Mad.
Round and round.
Literal hamster wheel.
I knew. I had a dog encyclopedia, and same with horses as well. I knew all the dog breeds. I used to read an encyclopedia like it was, but they were the only books I'd be able to tune into. I still really struggle with reading to this day. Like, unless it's something that really sucks me in. I used to love a non-fictional picture book that had Border Collie, Hungarian Visa, Weimaraner. I just knew all of them, and that was like because it's something I could zone in on, hyperfixate on. So, yeah. Where was I going with that?
You were talking about cartwheeling around.
Cartwheeling. Okay, yeah. So yeah, obviously hyperfixation was gymnastics, and my cousin actually was a competitive gymnast. She used to compete for Wales, so I used to lap that up when I went to visit her and my grandma and my uncle and auntie in Wales. We'd be the worst.
It's a really cool sport to watch.
Sick. It's so sick. Yeah. Olympic gymnasts are mental, man.
Yeah. Super strong.
Yeah, and and
they make it look so easy.
God, every single event in gymnastics, especially like artistic gymnastics with the men and the women, like it's just nuts. You said they make it look so easy. They're like springs. They are literally like spring people. I saw a video of iShowSpeed. He's doing a whole series on YouTube. He did the gymnast thing with when he messed up his shoulder, didn't he?
Yeah,
he was doing the what do you call them? The full. What's it
Monties. Called? Yeah, all around the high bar.
Yeah. I can't remember. I should know that.
But I mean, he's pretty athletic. Yeah. He's doing all these athletic things.
He did some really good stuff. Yeah, really good things.
But again, it's one of those things like the rings. They make it look super easy.
Themselves up like that.
And it's one of those things.
So hard.
I think it's probably one of the biggest gulfs between how easy it looks and then how difficult it is. Even though you go, oh, that's hard.
That's hard.
And I know they're good and you can see their muscles, but you try and do it and you're like, you don't get anywhere.
It's like the same you see people doing like calisthenics, right? Like you go, piece of cake. And then you try to do like what they call a planche.
Yeah, the planche.
That's so hard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. But so it's very impressive. But anyway, yes, my grandma brought that up. She was like, on my granddad, I think it's my granddad's 80th. We went to a really nice hotel for his, and she was saying, for his birthday, and she was saying that me and my cousin were like cartwheeling around this posh hotel, and my parents were very good at kind of reining us back in. Like they didn't just let us, some parents with their kids just let them run around the pub and like go and talk to people at the table. It's like my brother kid away.
Sam, if you're listening, Sam used to go to Frankie and Benny's near like we had Bowlplex and then Frankie and Benny's, and Sam found out that the knives and the forks were magnetic, and so if you put them like end to end on the non-spiky bits, just on the bottom, then they would stick together, and he'd walk around the restaurant at the age of what, like 7, just like balancing or like hanging off and showing that. I mean, you know,
such a dweeb, man. That's
friends.
Such a Sam Crick thing.
It meant that I didn't need to make any friends when we were like on holiday, because he'd go and make them, and then on day 3 I'd be invited in.
Were you in?
And I'm like, sick.
Posse.
Hi guys. But,
oh, Samuel.
So did you? Okay, so I guess did you find out? You know, it's an ongoing thing with working out like a diagnosis for ADHD and you know, kind of working out how to constantly deal with it and how to make the most of it. Because I see a lot of things for me that might have been the negative side are actually also my strength.
Yeah.
How have you been able to use your ADHD and the way that you work to kind of your advantage in some cases? For me, the job that I do now is perfect. Working with people is perfect. Like, people with ADHD tend to thrive off jobs where they're walking around, they're being productive, they're doing stuff. Because I could never do like an office. I know that I could never do an office job. Like, I sit down, and like my weakness within my job now is doing online admin. Like, you'll know, I'll go to do check-ins, and I'm suddenly in the kitchen. I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? 8th coffee of the day.
8th coffee of the day. The caffeine. What do you call it? Not reliance. You're like reliant on it.
Yeah, addiction.
Caffeine addiction. Yeah, literally. But yeah, so
no, I know the word. I can't think of the word.
Dependence.
Yeah,
kind of. I borderline dependent on it. I can be fine with that. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, no, with my job that I do now, I think that is the strength of it. Like, working with people, you know, you're so. A misconception about ADHD is people just think you're vacant the whole time, you're not focusing on anything. But actually what it is, and what one of Guy's really lovely old clients, who was the one who really spoke to me about it, she said the beauty of it is actually you're actually so aware of everything, which is why you can't really zone in on one thing usually unless you're hyperfixating, right? So with coaching, that's great. You've got a class of people. You can see everybody. You're aware of everybody. You can see if someone's struggling in the corner of your eye, because you are just so vigilant of stuff. Yeah. So it does just really suit me. And same with if I'm PTing someone, like I can list off the things that I need to check in my head as they're doing it. Obviously, if they distract me, like, that's their fault. Like, they know, my clients know what I'm like. So, you know, they want to have an easy session, they can somehow talk me into it. But usually I'm like, no, I know what you're doing here, having a little conversation.
Yeah, you see when they're trying to lead you astray.
4-minute rest.
That's so true. It's such a thing. Yeah.
It just really works to my advantage. And like with stuff like cooking as well, like I really like cooking, and you know, being in the fitness industry, like nutrition is there's a strong focus on nutrition, so I find it interesting kind of creating new recipes and coming up with recipes. Throw back to Synergy Fitness, that thing that me and Guy used to do. We need to do that again.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the videos?
No, I actually didn't.
I used to make some sick recipes.
You guys went pretty good on the content a few years back.
Yeah. What happened?
What happened was that you kind of make your own meals.
Yeah.
And
started being a bodybuilder.
Yeah, a little bit more strict.
So sorry about that, guys.
But no, so your love for cooking.
Yeah, it ties in with that as well. So like my love for cooking and nutrition, because it's something that I can again focus in on, because I really enjoy it and I find it very interesting, and I find it very therapeutic to cook, and to cook for people as well. So that can come in quite nicely with my coaching, because I like nutrition. So then I can help people like think of, like, because I've done that in the past when me and Guy used to make those videos, I can help them say they're on a diet, make the diet a bit more fun by showing them like, yeah, you can still make yourself a burger at home, but it can be 300 calories instead of a 600 plus cal Big Mac that's got loads of crap in it.
Yeah, and tastes a little bit shit.
Tastes a little bit pappy, guys. Big Macs aren't all that. Mm-hmm. Chicken Big Mac now though.
Chicken Big Mac.
Been released recently.
Is it full time on the menu? Because I know they bring it in every now and then.
I don't know. I haven't tried it, because I'm not really a frequent McDonald'ser, but McDonald'ser.
Either.
Yeah.
Do you eat your burgers upside down? Have you heard about this?
No.
Oh, okay. So I came across this a few years back, where again, my brother Sam, I think, introduced me to it.
I'm sure.
I got all these hacks, and if you eat it upside down, then things don't fall out. because the top bun is bigger than the bottom bun. Yeah. And so if you go upside down, then everything is preserved within the burger.
Probably doesn't get soggy either.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
That's really interesting.
So you give it a go.
Yeah, next time I make myself a homemade macro track burger. Because that's what we do. Yeah. We're aliens, you see. Never touched fast food in my life. But yeah, next time I have a burger, I'll give that a go.
So what's your favourite thing to cook?
Oh, that's really hard.
Do you have a staple meal that you would always go back to? Obviously, it might be different now with your bodybuilding prep, and it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you still have variety.
My previous food hyperfixation, before I started my bodybuilding, and I tend to kind of just eat meals that are on my plan, I used to love making turkey meatballs with 7% fat turkey, because, yes, the lower fat is
was it going down to 5%?
It's dry. Yeah. I think it's like 3%.
Okay, well, yeah. Not much going on there.
Yeah. Look, you can make them better, but they are dry. You need to sauce them if you're really going to do that. So I'd have meatballs, and then I'd make a homemade tomato sauce. So I learned from this chef on Instagram. Shout out to Lagom Chef. And he showed you how to make like the perfect tomato sauce. You know, when like it's got that balance of sweet and acidity and all of that. Whereas, you know, some people make a tomato sauce, they just chuck a can of tomatoes, and it's so
like I did yesterday with Guy.
Awful.
We just needed something.
You need to flavour balance it, man. You got to get sugar, you need vinegar, and then salt. They're the three ways you balance it. So I used to make a really, really good really good tomato sauce, and then I'd have air fryer gnocchi with it. So I love gnocchi.
I'm a big fan of gnocchi.
Oh, mate.
I haven't had it in ages, but when I was at uni, I have not.
Oh my God, it's so, because it's crispy, but it's chewy on the inside. Oh my God, it's so good. And I know that's so simple, but it was just such a nice, like, comfort meal. And if you tracked it, it's really good, really high in protein. If you didn't put loads of sugar in tomato sauce, it's still...
I mean, you say it's simple. Like, that definitely falls in the category of, oh, you can cook.
Take a bit of time.
Like, someone will go, oh, this is great. Like, rather than it's like, oh, I'll chuck something together and then make something that's amazing.
But that's not the most impressive thing. That's not the most impressive thing that I've made in the past.
No, but it's tiers up from chicken and rice.
Fish and rice.
Chicken pasta.
Hey, that chicken though, that chicken that your mum makes.
Good. Bang. Yeah, I had it last night.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah,
Mum, if you're listening,
shout out.
Best chicken ever.
That is some good stuff. But yeah, no, there's loads of stuff I like making. I probably couldn't. That's like the first thing that comes to mind, just because it tastes nice and it fills you up. But I love cooking. Love cooking. Is that my alarm going off? It is, isn't it? I wonder if I can stop it. I can. Apple Watch. Turn off your phone alarm. It's playing some ambient music in the background. Probably couldn't hear that. Anyway.
Yeah, Guy we were talking, episode that is probably come out by the time this is released, episode 3, talking to Guy about the barn gym and everything.
Yeah.
We're talking about his sleep routine and what he listens to fall asleep.
What does he?
Do you have, he listens to, he said he's got audiobooks of Brian Cox talking about the universe.
That's great.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
lovely.
What a great voice.
Yeah. Brian Cox has got a very gentle voice.
Do you listen to white noise and stuff?
You know what? Sometimes I do. So when I went through a stage of struggling to sleep a couple years back, and I think it was the Calm app. That's the one that Stephen Fry owns, right?
The what?
Potentially, the Calm app.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
And there was one, I had like the free version, and there was one like bedtime story on there, and Stephen Fry would speak, and he was talking about like lavender fields in France. Wow. And it's just very soothing, and he basically gets you to kind of visualize it, and that used to knock me out. But now I recently transferred, well, actually I've got both, to be fair. I've got Apple Music and Spotify, but I recently paid for Spotify Premium. And on there...
I mean, I don't know why it's taken you so long.
It's just such a nick to have Apple Music, isn't it? I pursued it because I'm stubborn, man. I pursued it for so long. I still have it because I just can't be bothered to transfer everything onto there, but I also want the benefit of having Spotify because everybody has Spotify. And
this podcast is on Spotify. And
this podcast is on Spotify.
I haven't quite circulated it onto Apple Podcasts. But if enough people, if you listen to this, or you're not listening to this.
You're not listening to it.
And you think your friend's missing out because they're on Apple Music, then
exactly.
I'll sort that one out for you lot.
Yeah, boy. But yeah, no, Apple Music, so they released it they released like these kind of sleep soundscape things, and now Spotify, they have these, there's this company called Endel, which also do it's like an ADHD but also like a sleep app. And they have, I think they're called the Endel soundscapes, so I listen to a lot of sleep ones that they do, and it's just like soothing music. They're like kind of what do you call them,
like rain sounds,
but also like a certain hertz.
Frequency.
Frequency.
Yeah,
where it kind of, it's like the vibrations of that sound can help you nod off. So it was that, and then there was this, you know, the artist Black. So they did a soundscape with one of his albums.
Six Lack.
Yeah, Six Lack. They did one with one of his albums, and that's quite nice because like it's his music, but it's all very.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. So if I do feel a bit restless and my brain feels very busy, which sometimes it does when I'm going to sleep, just constant thoughts, I put that on and I just focus on listening to that, and yeah, it helps me nod off. Pop a melatonin sometimes as well.
Just whack the melatonin.
Just for luck.
I mean that's a massive thing in America.
Yeah. They are. They're melatonin gummies that my stepmom bought back for me. They're lit.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
They taste quite nice as well.
Yeah, this is not advice for sleep.
No,
I say always find a way that you can get to sleep.
Yeah.
By either just, I find, I'm tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I would rather be tired through than like just exercising loads than just be
usually
fatigued.
If I pop a melatonin, it's because I've been in India and had caffeine a bit too late, and then I'm like, okay. I'm not saying this is the way to go. This, you know what this actually stemmed from? It stemmed from doing my bodybuilding prep. So it got to a point in the prep where obviously you're very lean, and I am someone who needs a lot of carbohydrate, a lot of food to just be comfortable.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's an uncomfortable situation to be in at the end of prep, and I was tired. Your body is so tired, but I'd be waking up multiple times throughout the night just starving. And yeah, so I started taking melatonin a little bit just to help me with my sleep, which did help a little bit, but then I'd still be waking up at 4:30, just like my belly just growling.
That is one thing. Like if you find you're waking up in the night, a lot of the time you're not fueled enough.
Yeah,
before
it's the carbohydrate, man. You haven't, because you need glycogen, glucose for your brain to do the stuff that it needs to do. So when people are like, just not eating enough, or they have like their last meal at like 4 in the afternoon and they go to bed at like 10, then your brain is like, whoa, we need energy to keep restoring, right?
And it's finding a balance between that and not eating too close.
Yeah.
That your body's still digesting it.
Yeah.
So it's 2 to 3 hours is normally the protocol.
Yeah. That is
2 to 3 hours before bed.
2 to 3 hour meal time before bed.
No, I had that when I was training in the US, and my classes were in the evening. So I had a 6 p.m. till 8:30 class.
Rough, isn't it? It's tough.
After training. And so I'd eat at 6, but then because we had so much training, I'd also need to eat when I get back. Yeah. But I'd then obviously eat so close to bedtime that I wasn't getting really good sleep.
I find that even now, like obviously with coaching, like you're the same. Like there are some days where we finish quite a bit later, and then obviously because we're like a 40-minute drive away from home, you'll be coaching, and it does just burn energy. Like naturally, you're helping people, you're lifting plates, you're doing mobility with them, so you do burn a certain amount in the class, regardless of if you're taking part or not. And then we get home, and it's suddenly it's 9 o'clock, and I'm then eating dinner.
Literally me last night,
and I'm like, oh God, and just sitting in bed, just my belly like. So silly.
That's when you come to cravings and everything else. Yeah. What's your best advice then to someone who has a pretty hectic schedule and feels like they might not have specific meal times that they can stick to, whether they're on the go or they've got inconsistent work routines? So
a couple things. So one really helpful acronym that my dad taught me is the 6 P's. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Good, yeah.
So preparation is key, and especially for someone like me who organisation, I happily admit, is not a strong point of mine. I'm not a very organised person. I really try, and I really put a lot of pressure on myself with it, but sometimes I'm just not. It's just not how my brain's default isn't to be organised. Something that I learned from prep is you have to be organised, otherwise you really screw yourself over. So meal prep. Like everybody has at least one spare hour on a weekend to prep yourself a couple of meals, set yourself up for the weekend, because it it is so important to be able to make sure you are fueling yourself correctly, because otherwise people just opt for the easy process options and stuff that's not so healthy, and ordering Uber Eats and stuff. And like, that's fine to an extent, everything in moderation. But if you have got a set goal with your fitness, with your nutrition, you need to prepare. And like, the second thing I was going to go on to, if you really, really don't have enough time, and I don't believe that they're like, people don't, unless it is like some sort of super, super demanding job, like, you know, that hour that you're sat doom scrolling on your phone in the evening could be an hour that you're being productive. And I know you want to kind of settle down, but sometimes you just have to make those sacrifices to make the rest of your week easier. And I'm such a strong believer in that. But if you don't have that time, and if you do have the finances, there are like meal prep companies that you can use.
Yeah, I keep getting ads on Simmer Eats,
Thrive, Prep Kitchen. There's loads of them. And yes, they are a little bit more pricey, but if you know, your health is the biggest investment that you should make in yourself. And that's why, like, I'm such a strong believer in people investing in coaching, because, you know, someone will say, oh, like $150 a month that's so expensive. They'll see it kind of face value. They go, so expensive. But then, you know, you'll go on a night out and you'll spend 100 quid on drinks, and then, you know, your mate Darren might be investing another bit. So you just...
Sorry, what?
You can. I'm not. Look, I'm keeping it PG here. But some people will spend a lot of money on a night out on various things, right?
Yeah.
Let's put it like that. Yeah. And they won't even they won't even think about that. But 1 month worth of coaching that's gonna bring so much benefit to your life, and they're like, you just, it's just about where your priorities are and investing in yourself. Because like you with your knee operation, right?
Yeah.
That's a big investment.
This is news. Next episode, go deep into it.
Quality of life.
I don't think I'm ever going to say the number at some point, but it is, you know, it's an investment which is like at least a whole year of saving.
Yeah.
And very similar.
It's like our years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably and just nuts. Crazy. But as you mentioned, and this is the main thing to go along with your 6 Ps of my dad, it was proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Same thing.
But prior is
as well. So it's like before, but proper is also prior proper.
And that is, you know, add priorities to that, and simply a lot of the times we don't follow through with things because we either don't see things as a priority, or we actually just haven't internalized the importance and the value of it, and we don't think too much about trading finances for mental peace or health, or, you know, we can't really zoom out that much.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think
it's the bigger picture, right?
And I fall into the trap of this, is being a little bit too kind on people that would say that they don't have enough time, because and I'm so much more honest with myself. Yeah. Like, if I go, okay, you know, I'm pretty brutal about if something's not working out, why it's not working out, and actually really working to make it happen. Yeah. And, you know, if I find myself like going to the petrol station on the way and getting, I've probably spent £6 a day for the first few times that I was here on the cookies as well. And what was interesting was I didn't have coffee here because Guy doesn't drink hot drinks. Weird. Right? Really weird. Really weird. He doesn't drink hot drinks, which means he doesn't have any coffee here. Yeah. And so it meant that I had to get my caffeine from the petrol station on the way, because I didn't have it. I just didn't make it a priority at home. I was, you know, fitting into the job and getting all the routines sorted. But I ended up, because it was cheaper on the whole to just get a meal deal, get a bit of food, I was spending like £6 a day on that. What's up, man? And I'm like, that's a load of coaching for the whole month. That was it. 180 quid for the month. And I look at that and I go, okay, wait, let me just try this. And I saved myself about £170 a month by just buying the instant coffee and bringing it to work. Yeah. And so we just have it now. And I go, I haven't made a trip to the petrol station.
It's crazy.
At all.
Crazy. I don't even want to think about how much money I used to spend at my old job. When I used to work at a supplement store, we had a girls next door, and I never prepared my meals.
Girls are expensive, and they don't give you good portion sizes.
Yeah. Like 10 quid, 10 quid for one of those like chicken sandwich. Look, delicious, but the chicken parmesan.
2 bites.
Oh my God. Just nuts. And I used to just be like, yep. Yeah. Like, no, do not do that. Prepare your food, man. It's not hard. Even a sandwich. Sandwiches are such a balanced, look, they're not the most satiating, but they're a balanced meal. Like, you can make a sandwich a very, very balanced meal. And that takes making a sandwich takes about 3 minutes.
Not long. Yeah.
Not even that.
Yeah. No excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses.
So what brought you into, so you mentioned what you kind of learned a little bit from bodybuilding prep.
Yes.
What made you, what were you training for before? Like, as you were a runner, played hockey.
Gymnastics.
Bit of gymnastics.
All of that.
Gymnastics in the restaurant.
Yeah, gymnastics in the
Semi-professional. When what was your training like, let's say from university, and then how has it transitioned into more competition?
Yeah, so obviously the way I started the gym when I was 15. So I joined my local gym when I was 15. And at that point it was like, I will happily admit this, it was also partially because of like body dysmorphia. When you're a very impressionable young girl and I was growing up and seeing, like, you're just constantly exposed to like all these tiny like skinny models on Tumblr, like thigh gaps were trending and stuff, but also having a big bum was starting to come in a bit more as well. Like influencers like Tammy Hembrow were popping off, Grace Beverly, and like I wanted that because I always had a very athletic physique. And yeah, so I started at the gym, like despite the fact I was still competing in a lot of sport and stuff, I started at the gym to improve my appearance. And I always happily admit that, like it was from a slightly vain perspective, right? But I also really enjoyed training. My mum had some weights at home anyway, so I'd already kind of learnt a bit on how to do that kind of stuff anyway. And doing that, and when, I was training, don't even know what my split used to be, but it did also improve my sport. It improved how I performed in sport. So that was a big part of why I also continued to do it more and more and more, because I really enjoyed it. Like when I first started, I used to go after school and I'd be in the gym for like 2-3 hours just because I loved it there. Mm-hmm. It was like, it felt like home, which is, I know is so silly, but I loved it. And I felt like I could, you leave feeling 10 times better. You're motivated. You want to kind of do everything to like optimize. I hate using that word, but like optimize your results because you enjoy it so much. So I was doing that, and then went to uni. We had S&C sessions for hockey as well. So again, there was a bit more of a focus on performance, but I still did I always kind of did bodybuilding, hypertrophy style training. And then when I left uni with work and stuff, because I was working full time in the week, I was too tired to continue doing like sports, because I'd be training like late in the evenings and it'd be like, half an hour away from, and it would have resulted in me coming back really, really late. And I wanted my weekends to chill out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So I just stopped doing sport, and that was sad. Like I've still really, really missed doing sports, and I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of fit that in. But yeah, stopped doing that. Obviously started doing personal training, and with the kind of finish in like me doing sport and yeah, all that, I kind of lost direction. And like, because I was also a trainer then, so I was focusing on helping my clients so much and creating programs, again, as I was saying, I kind of lost purpose with my training. And I started to see quite a few kind of female bodybuilders pop up. There always used to be like a massive stigma about bodybuilding, and obviously there still is, but with you, like if you speak about bodybuilding to someone who doesn't really know all the categories, you just think of like women jacked up on God knows what, like massive
juice to the nines.
You just think like open bodybuilding women, right? But actually there's so many categories, and a lot of them, for me it was almost like celebrating how you can still look super, super feminine with muscle. And I've always been a big advocate for that anyway. Like I think it's so important for women to have muscle, regardless of how much they want to build. Like I'm not saying you need to go and be a bodybuilder, but yeah, I really like the fact that it was celebrating like your hard work. And I trained for so long, and I thought, I feel like this gives my training purpose again. And I wanted to showcase the years of hard work that I've done training. So yeah, I reached out to my coach, my now coach, and I did quite a lot of research with different people, and finally found the person. I was looking at these categories, and initially I wanted to go for bikini, which is like, you know, it's an X-frame, you're quite balanced, but naturally because of the sport I did with hockey and sprinting and stuff like that, I've always had slightly more muscular legs, like quite dense lower body, and then with the training that I was doing as well. So there's a new category that came out called wellness, and it just suited like the way I wanted to look, and B, how I already was in terms of like my musculature. So yeah, that's the one I signed up for. I met him in real life. We kind of checked over, because you get a lot of people saying like, oh, you know, when you lose that weight, your legs are going to disappear. Didn't really happen for me. They kind of stayed dense.
Still waiting
for them to disappear. So yeah, it just worked out to be the perfect category for me, and I went on from there, and I love it, and I'm still doing it now.
Yeah, because you just had your kind of first year properly of doing it. You go deep into competition in the summer.
The trenches.
Yeah, how is let's touch on the, you know, it's the importance of using what you've already got.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to force yourself into a category that you're not naturally predisposed to.
Or try and get a massive upper body, because that's just not what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, you go for what you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. I've always really enjoyed training legs, and
give it a slightly different bit of direction.
Exactly. Tweak it a little bit. Like I started to really enjoy growing my upper body, but in terms of how my physique looks, I prefer like the way I look now. Again, from like a slightly aesthetic point of view, I prefer how I look now with the training that I do than how I did look prior, even though, you know, I love training upper body. I think my body suits having that slight imbalance a little bit more. So, yeah.
Was it easy finding your current coach?
Relatively, actually. And like there were quite a few that I was looking at, but not a lot of them, especially in the UK, had wellness girls, because it was a pretty new category.
Yeah, how new is the category?
It's quite new. I think the first one in the Olympia, we might have to do a bit of research. I think the first one was 2022.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So yeah. A couple of years.
It originated from Brazil, obviously. And yeah, I think it was either 2022 or 2023 when they did the first released as like the category in Olympia, which is obviously, for those of you who don't know, that's like the Olympics of bodybuilding. It's you know, Chris Bumstead.
Yeah. C-Bum.
Yeah, C-Bum.
Good YouTube channel.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. Legend. But yeah, so I didn't take that long. I was quite cautious about having a male coach at the start, because as a female, you're putting yourself in quite a vulnerable position when you start with these coaches. And I've heard some horror stories about male coaches it's power play, right? Like, say you can have it with female coaches as well, like abuse of power, but yeah, taking advantage of girls, because, you know, those check-in pictures that you send, especially for my category, it's quite revealing.
Yeah.
And if you get a creeper, then yeah, not good vibes.
No, it is, and it is a very, you know, real thing.
Yeah, majorly.
Had, you know, Simone Biles documentaries about the state of gymnastics in America, and it is just
it's so scary.
The dark side of that sort of stuff when you're going to
so scary. So I was doing some research, and his client Paige, shout out Paige, so she appeared on my Explore page, and I was like, oh my god, she looks insane. Like, and that was also, I think she was the person who like made me discover wellness, I think. And I remember seeing her, and I was like, wow, she looks sick. And I reached out to her, because obviously Cal was her coach, and I reached out to her and asked her like what her experience was. Like, is he creepy? Is he creepy? Like, was there anything? Because as I was saying, like, as a girl, but there also aren't a lot of female coaches in the kind of bodybuilding prep industry at the moment. I think it's getting better. It's definitely getting better. There's quite a lot of really good ones now, but there weren't at the time.
Is that because they're the ones that are interested? Is it because they're competing? I think
you get a lot of them. A lot of them now, there are some really good female coaches now, but a lot of them are professional bodybuilders themselves, so they hadn't taken on a lot of clients at that point, potentially. And there's also, I feel like there's a bit of a rep with female coaches in the bodybuilding industry just not knowing as much, which is silly, because they're brilliant. And actually, the female body is a really complicated it's super complicated because of all our hormones. So you want to make sure, that was another thing, you really want to make sure your coach, male or female, is in the know about female hormones and how to kind of resurrect potential damage that you could do in a prep, because, you know, it's very, very common for girls to lose like their cycle and stuff, and that's a really important thing to get back, because it's kind of a pretty good indicator of how your body is doing and how like what your hormones are and stuff. And yeah, so needing to make sure that was the case. Anyway, long story short, I went for him, and I think it was the best decision I've ever made. Like, he is just such a fantastic coach, and I've heard some stories about other coaches which are not great, but Cal, I couldn't speak any higher of Cal. Like, he puts his all into his clients. He's so caring. He's not creepy at all. And shout out.
Make that clear.
He's not.
He's not.
No, he's really not, man. He's a very, very good egg, and yeah, I'm very lucky to have him. And he's also, I mean, you can see his roster from this year now. He has got some incredible clients, and he's picking up a good selection of like wellness girls now. So I think he's going to gain a bit of a rep as one of the best coaches. I would say one of the best coaches in the UK for our category, because you also, you know, you need a coach that knows that category well. Yeah. Otherwise, they'll just make you look like something else. They'll make you fit into a different category when maybe you wanted to do that one. So
yeah. I think that is the the kind of benefit of being in a sport, let's say from a coach's perspective, from Cal, is the results are very visible. Yeah. Right. You can sell it, like the work that you're doing.
Sells so well.
You know, the main thing is the aesthetics that you're judged on.
Especially with bodybuilders, like bodybuilding clients 9 times out of 10 are people that are very locked into their training anyway, so it sells well because you get results quickly, because people will really put their all into training. It's not all the time, but people do really lock into their training, and with that, if you're following a protocol that works, then you're going to get great results, and you get these people looking absolutely jacked. And it just sells. It just sells. But it's complicated. It's not an easy route of coaching to do. Like, it's a lot more complex than lifestyle training. That's one thing I've definitely learned. Because you have to know so much about food and manipulating foods and stuff to get the perfect look for the stage. So, it's not the easiest route. And I used to always say, like, I don't think I'd ever take on a prep client, but actually now I've got one.
Yeah, how's that going?
I'm really enjoying it. It's cool, man. It's
because
cool.
you're about a month?
Yeah, a couple months. She signed with me. Ooh, I think, you know what? I think it was like November.
Yeah, I thought it was back end of November.
Yeah, but she reached out to me. I really had in my mind, I was like, I really don't think I'll do, because it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to bring that result for someone. But she reached out to me, and she, I actually thought about it, and I was like, actually, I feel like I really like this, because I have a passion for it. I've now done it. I've done the do the done, diddly dum dum da dum dum day. And I like people who can really I love my lifestyle clients, do not get me wrong, but it's cool to have someone who, it's a different way of coaching basically. So it's expanding my knowledge and my experience as a coach. So it's cool. And she trusts me, and yeah, it's going to be a really fun experience to go for, I think. And just, as I said, so very, very different from doing lifestyle clients.
And I think you learn so much through that process of coaching someone through something that you're going to be going through again, this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm sure, when you get to very low calorie, like the nutrition like stages, the cutting stages, is you somehow need to be able to take yourself out of the situation that you're in to gain clarity, because you genuinely just don't have the energy for those weeks and periods. People
don't, like, I always say bodybuilding is one of the most controversial sports, and you speak to anybody who doesn't know much about it, and they'll just be like, they kind of just think bodybuilders are really vain. And obviously there's a side of it where it's like, and you don't get me wrong, you also get some really cocky bodybuilders. We all know that. You get the stereotypical ones, right? But actually, what people don't see is the 6 months of dieting and 6 months of hard work and pursuing something that it's so hard. It is so hard to get that lean. Like, it's such a mental game. Like, I think I said it on Cal's YouTube video actually, but like, I was asked, like, what advice would you give to people who are kind of thinking about this, and like what did you learn from it? And I just said, I learned that I'm so much stronger, so much more resilient than I thought. Because there'll be days where, and this is going to sound very simple, but there'll be days where I would have had a really long day of coaching. I'm on my feet the whole day, but I've come home and somehow, miraculously, I haven't hit my 14K steps that I needed to do in prep. And it's that coming home, you're knackered, and you're dragging yourself back out again. You proved to yourself what your body's capable of. It's like with any extreme sport, right? Like, say you're doing like marathon training or like like trail running, stuff like that. Like, it is the discipline that you give yourself, and you just get a respect for yourself because you learn how much you can actually push yourself through when your body's going, no, we can't do this. It's learning that power that you can kind of harness with your mind.
Yeah, I think that's the mental game. Yeah. It's obviously such a massive component, and also, like you say, is going. There are certain things that you expect that you can do, and you prove yourself wrong in the positive way, and surprise yourself. I think, at any sort of level, I think doing something so much that there is the option for you to surprise yourself is probably one of the most like magical things about sport and pursuits, or just giving something a really good go. Whether it's writing, or it's with your work, or making music. Exactly.
It's so satisfying. Like, I remember when I used to work at that store that I was talking to you about, like, I'd come home, I would have had a really, really bad day, I would be really tired, and I probably would have only done like 4,000 steps. Now I'm like, I come home, I'm like David Goggins, I'm like, don't be a bitch. You got to do some more steps, honey. Pull my walking pad out if it's pitch black outside. watching like Stranger Things with my mum. My mum hates that walking pad. She hates it. She's finally got me to tuck it under the sofa after each time I use it now, but I used to have
walking
pad.
Walking pad?
Yeah, it's like a mini treadmill.
Like the ones that people would use for kind of runway.
Yeah.
Or was it walkway, like fashion?
Runway.
No. They're not running.
It's for people, like, you get a lot of people who work like office jobs, they'll have like standing desks and a walking pad just to keep active, man, because it's so important. Like, walking is, I always say this, like, someone will go like, oh, what's something that I can do to really help me, like, kickstart my fitness journey? I'm like, increase your steps. Like, every week, like, you don't realize how much more you can boost your expenditure from just walking a bit more. Like, 10K steps a day, it makes a huge difference. Yeah,
you show someone I saw a video literally this morning of Sean Casey.
Yeah.
And he was, his hook was that walking burns more calories than running or anything.
Yeah.
But, if you showed someone a chart of how many calories they're burning from different aspects of their day, and you tell them that, 5 to maybe up to 15 to 20% if you're an endurance athlete.
Yeah.
5 to 20% of your calories are burned through exercise.
Yeah.
And most of it is by lifestyle, if you're moving.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny because you'll get people who like, I love running, by the way, quick disclaimer, don't get me wrong, I love running, I love HIIT workouts,
careful about the running chat on here.
No, I do, I really do, but you get people who like, they want to lose weight and they're, I need to do some runs. It's like, okay, cool, you're going to go do some runs, and then that run's going to make you starve.
You're going to be so hungry.
You're going to get home and you're going to like just have like 3 bowls of cereal, because I used to do that. But actually, like, increase your steps, because it doesn't, going on a walk, unless you're power walking, like you're really striding out, increasing those steps each day, that doesn't make you that much more hungry, but it increases your expenditure. But yeah, like such a common misconception is like, okay, I need to do some more, I need to do some runs. And if someone hasn't done them as well, they'll go 0 to 100, they'll try and run like a 7K, and they might have only done a 1K the week before, then they hit runner's knee, and that's great.
Not the runner's knee.
Yeah, not the runner's knee, man, the worst.
Get injured, do it too much.
Yeah, unless you're someone who does running a lot and you've got that lifestyle balance and you're getting in steps as well, you're going to do runs and you're going to get starving, you're going to eat loads of food, and you're going to probably gain weight.
Yeah, so that's the reality of it.
Your legs are battered.
Well, and also you probably overestimate, a lot of people and your watch will overestimate how many calories you've burned.
Yeah, it's like,
I've burned 600 calories for a 25-minute run. Very unlikely. And then you'll go and eat the 600 calories.
Yeah.
In probably, not the best foods. Yeah, the meatballs.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, this is a great meal, I love cooking this. And you wonder why, the scales go up.
Why am I getting so fat? It's not funny though, is it? It's serious.
But then, yeah.
No, but.
So at this moment of so that was, the thing that you going into bodybuilding prep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still kind of on it.
Yeah, tangent.
It's all right.
Yeah.
And so your training at the moment,
yes,
is obviously you're kind of like a winter block.
Yeah, improvement phase we call it instead of a bulk.
Okay.
That can be triggering for people. We call it an improvement phase.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How important do you think the words that we choose to describe things like that?
It really depends what kind of person you are, right? If you're someone who really doesn't mind gaining a bit of weight, you don't like a bulk, that doesn't matter. But a lot of people have a conception of this perception of the word, but like being bulky, and
connotations.
Connotations. That's the one. Perception.
Hey, same.
But you get a lot of clients coming in saying, "Oh, I really want to tone up and stuff. I don't want to get too bulky." So, just from my experience as a coach, like with my prep client now, she won't mind me saying this. Like I think she struggles with the concept of her going into improvement growing phase because she's never eaten in a calorie surplus before, and most girls haven't. I never knowingly did. I never purposefully put myself in a surplus before I started with my coach. And he's the same. He doesn't like using the word bulk because I think just for some people, they're like, immediately think, okay, I'm going to get fat, I'm going to get bulky. And a lot of people don't want to look like that. Like, it's not like for most of the population, I think I could safely say most people don't want to be bulky, fat.
Which is interesting because there's a whole brand called Bulk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, bulk powders.
I guess very much connotations like if you are someone that is very comfortable with the word, and that's how you want to describe it, then it's all right.
But if you're someone, and especially in the bodybuilding industry as well, you get quite a few people who might have struggled with eating disorders and stuff in the past. And, actually it can be very beneficial to them because they've got routine and they've got structure through their meal plan, and that actually does help them. But then you can see how that could be really triggering for them to go into their growing phase, and that right the coach comes on, right, we're going to get into a bulk, let's like increase those calories loads. So yeah, I'm fine with saying it, but my coach tends to call it like an improvement growing phase. Just I've taken that one on.
That's good. I like it. No, I think this will be something that I touch upon in the next podcast, which is about being very careful about the words that we use to describe things because of how it makes us view the pursuit.
Yeah, exactly.
I have come up with a new thing. I've been trying to find a good word for the basics, mastering the basics.
Okay.
Right? Because I don't like the term the basics.
Simples.
The
simples.
The simples. Comparedtomarket.com.
What noise it makes?
ASMR. But it's like I don't like the basics. It's a very serious thing for me. I don't like the basics because it makes it seem like you get basic results. It also makes it seem like everyone's doing it. Everyone, because it's basic, it means that everyone's following the basics. Which is an absolute lie.
No, people aren't.
99% of people. Staples. I prefer. I'm just going to tell you anyway. I like to see things as just what it takes. So I put everything into the camp of this is just what it takes.
Facts.
And I think that it's really important, going through a process for the first time, and you don't really know the signals of what if you're tired or burnt out. You don't have enough experience of distinguishing between the two. Coming back from injury, a lot of the time it's good pain and bad pain. You think that every pain is bad, but actually this is necessary for the growth and for the recovery. Is if I'm feeling a new emotion, I just reassure myself that as long as I'm doing the right things, this is just naturally, what it takes to do it.
You're just doing what it takes.
And then it also doesn't separate.
I like that.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm trying it out.
Good.
It's working so far.
You need to make a little video about that, I think.
Well, this is clips. There you go.
Clip it.
That's the whole point. The whole point of doing the long form is so you can get the short form content out of it.
Exactly. But yeah, no. So I'm in that improvement phase. Currently, probably about 14 kilos above stage weight.
Wow.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
My lowest weight was 59.4. You know what? This morning I weighed in much heavier. I think I'm having a bit of spike because hormonal shifts because I've got my cycle back, which is important. But
really good. No, it's good. Really good news.
Water retention is mental for me. A couple of weeks before that starts, so I've got that at the moment, and I was like 75.8 or something. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
Wow.
But no, I have been averaging out about 74, so about 14, 15 kilos above stage weight.
So your measure of success must have changed a lot throughout these cycles of training stuff. Like, obviously when you get close to comp, is it a lot more about
it's how you
aesthetics?
Look. It's how you look. It's not the judges aren't going to look at your scale weight. Like,
doesn't matter how much you lift
you, unless you're in male categories. There's scale weight is part of it, but for women it's not how much you weigh. Like, the judges aren't going to care if you hit a new low that day. They're going to care about how you look on the stage and how well you fit that category. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's cool actually. I quite like that about it because I think it can be very easy to get tangled up on weight and 100%. Caught up on weight when scale weight, like, yes, it is one way of measuring progress, and this is what I say to my clients, like, especially if they're not keen on weighing themselves. I'm like, cool, we don't need to do it because it's one way of measuring it, but there are so many factors that can change your scale weight in a day. You can gain 1 to 3 kilos of water weight in a day. That's nuts. And that someone's going to look at that and go, oh no, I've got fat because I had bread yesterday, so I'm holding on to a bit of water because I've had some carbohydrate. Like, no, man.
And on the flip side, you can lose it in a week by changing diets. If you drop carbs,
if you get diarrhea, it's gone.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it all falls out. Great.
6 kilos down. Way forward.
So do you focus on, what are your kind of focus points for getting positive feedback from training in this period? Is it strength based?
It's much less of the aesthetic. Yeah, it's about performance and about how I'm doing in training. And that's what I love about off season, because you have the energy to do that. That was, yes, I did train for aesthetic a little bit, but what I learned then from training and how my training progressed and how I probably have got the physique and the results that I have now is because I just loved it. I loved it, and I love training like an absolute weirdo. Say I've had a really bad day, I really like channeling my motion into my lifts. Like, it really helps me. Like, this morning, did 180 on the hack squat.
Wow.
Crazy.
How does that compare to in the summer?
So my last off season, my highest I got was 150.
Right.
When I was in prep, it probably dropped down to about 130 max, 140 if I had a good day. Yeah. I'm 40 kilos up this morning. I did, because I went to do 170, which I've been kind of sitting quite comfortably at for a couple of weeks. Not comfortable. It's hard. It's a hard set, but
relative. Relative.
Yeah, exactly. But I did one rep, and I thought I can do more than that. And I was in a bit of a mood this morning as well. So I was like, you know what? Channel this frustration. And for me, it is my outlet. I always say the gym is my therapy, right? It started off from a vain point of view, not from main point of view, vain purpose. But
vain, vain is
also, if you
it's probably not that serious. Yeah.
I didn't make the rules, Jesus did. But yeah, no, the benefits from my brain, like, it is therapy for me. It is my sanctuary. It's my safe place. And that, obviously I joked about it earlier when I was at school, but actually when I was struggling at school and I felt misunderstood and I was doing my GCSEs at my grammar school and I knew I was going to flop. Like, it was horrible. I felt really dumb. I'd go to the gym and that's where I get my frustration out. I get my anger out. And at the same time, my parents were getting, like, they were in the middle of like a 5-year divorce. So there was a lot going on when I was a teenager, and I found my sanctuary through going to the gym and being able to kind of get those endorphins going. So yeah, no, I love it. And the training when I've got energy and being able to really like full send a session is like my happy place. So that's how I progress and that's how I measure my success. And but I'm also now knowledgeable enough to know that I might have a day where, I can't lift 180 in the hack squat. Mm-hmm. And I'm also comfortable enough with myself with knowing that's fine. It's probably just a bad day. I know logically that, like, what is that noise? It's someone downstairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like downstairs. Weird noise in the walls. Spooky. But yeah, I'm also clued up enough to give myself grace with sessions where they might not be going to plan and I can scale them down a little bit.
Yeah. So how do you judge your, because obviously let's say one part of your training in the process is pretty strict with on the nutrition side,
yeah.
let's say. And then obviously on the training side, because it'll be really specific, you might have, you know, a percentage of 1 rep max or certain weights that you know you can lift.
Yeah.
How do you go session to session if you are just a little bit more tired? Is it based off effort?
So usually, it's, you know what, sometimes I'll surprise myself as well. So I'll go into the gym some days and I'll kind of know it's going to be a good session. Like sometimes I just know that I've got energy. But today, like, so I've got a logbook, right? I track my weights every week. So I know where I can start from as well. So I've always got that like rough kind of starting weight in my mind, like a feeder set, a warm up set. But I like today I surprised myself. I didn't feel great. I didn't have the best amount of sleep last night because I was up watching the last episode of Stranger Things 2 hours, and I went to bed after midnight and I was up at 6.
Wow. Okay, that's not a lot of sleep.
Silly girl actually. So I thought I was probably not going to be the best session, but actually I had a lot of energy and I really managed to. I marked it as a 5 out of 5 in my logbook.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, with kind of those days where I don't feel as good, I just know because I've trained for so long now, I know if I'm feeling a bit weaker. But sometimes I might be weaker on some lifts and then some lifts might be better. It's just about knowing your kind of what's the word, your limit in that session itself. And you can if you know your body, if you've trained for long enough, you will know. Usually people know how close they are to like failure, say. Yeah. And when I say failure, I mean failure of form. I don't mean your legs crumbling. It's a TikTok with funk music behind us. That's past failure for people who don't know. That's going to cause some controversy if people actually listen to this podcast. But
yeah. Early stages, like I say, we can't rinse all of the knowledge that we've got. No, it is really interesting though, because especially when you're pushing limits, you want to go into new territory and lift weights that you've never lifted before. Yeah. So you got to go over the mental barrier. Yeah. But then there are also physical limits day to day.
Yeah, for sure. I think it depends also if you're training with someone or not. So I've always kind of trained on my own, but sometimes if you get that perfect training partner, they can help you push further than you thought you could as well. I think with bodybuilding, with hypertrophy training, you do want to be pushing to that slightly higher level with sets. You don't want those consistent reps. By the end of your sets, you want those reps to be slowing down. You want to be struggling a little bit, because that's where you kind of hit that level where you can, it's like stimulates muscles to grow more, right? And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think, where was I even going with that? I don't know. Like, yeah, if you have a good training partner, they can really help you as well. So if you're having a bad day, sometimes that can help a little bit more, but it's more just
someone to get you out of your own head.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little bit of perspective.
Stop being a bitch. Sorry.
Yeah, how are you? It's such a pet.
I trained with someone once and they were like shouting at me like, one more, and I was like, oh my god, it put me off, man. It put me off.
Really?
Stop.
Yeah, you can say it to yourself, but when someone else, it's when you find out that you might be a little bit mean to yourself on some days, is when someone else says it out loud. You go, my goodness.
Scary. But you know what? One thing I've clocked recently as well, I feel like that's why I think I'm training hard. Like, I've started to make noises when I train now.
Oh really? Loud noises.
I grunt a bit. And it's horrible.
Like a tennis player.
Oh, no, I can show you after. I've got videos earlier, and I was grunting, and like I used to laugh at people who really made a lot of noise, because it is sometimes it's unnecessary, man. But yeah, this one I think I was pushing I felt quite sick after the hack squat actually. Yeah.
I saw your story.
I had a headache.
Walk up. Yeah, you were locked in.
My legs. Yeah. I had a headache. But you'll hear guys sometimes grunting. Do you ever grunt?
Oh, I mean,
Or did you do a bit of a tss?
Not really.
Sometimes I do that as well, a hiss.
Mine's, I have a very, and I guess one thing is that I've only really started strength training properly since being injured.
Yeah, it's different for you, man. Like, you had to train differently with running.
Yeah. But then I know at the moment where my injury's at is that I can't push fully.
Yeah.
So I've got the brakes on a little bit. But I do have a philosophy, which is I only put energy into the thing that's going to move the needle, which means that I release all tension in my face apart from the thing that's pushing the weight.
Wait, what do you mean?
So let's say that, let's say I'm on the bike.
You're pushing, you're like,
yeah. So you see sprinters right? And their lips are like bouncing up and down. Their face is all like jelly.
Yeah.
And that is actually the most efficient way to run, is to have all tension released and to flow.
Maybe I should try that.
And so it means that, especially when this hasn't been kind of being cognizant or conscious of it like as a kid, but people say, oh, you make it look super easy. And I go, that's actually just the philosophy that I have is a thing called essentialism.
Yes.
A guy called Greg McKeown, he's got a book called Essentialism.
Okay.
And it's basically just doing the thing that contributes the most to meaningful progress. And so when I'm on the watt bike, I will only put power into and force into the pedals. I will relax my hands completely. Like if I grip my teeth, I will just try and like use that as a sign just to chill out and relax everything. And I just go, and go, the only thing at the moment that is going to get the most power out is how much force I put into the pedals, and every other bit of energy is like a little bit useless.
Yeah, I need to take note.
Which means, I mean, obviously I do make faces in the gym, but I won't look like I'm trying as much.
I think I've really grown a jawline from the amount that I clench.
Have you?
Yeah.
You're mogging.
Constantly, literally giga chad with my jaw. Oh dear. Anyway,
You got that beauty fascia training. What is it? Anastasia Beauty Fascia. She's got loads of followers online.
Is she?
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
So no.
Who knows?
Haven't seen her.
We can do another one, I think.
Hit me.
Another podcast, another day.
Oh yeah.
Unless there's anything on your mind that you want to keep talking about.
I think we have spoken a lot.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of storage.
There's a lot of storage. Hopefully the phones are still
I think
going.
they are. Yeah, I think they are.
That's good.
But
Charlotte, thank you. Yeah, we can do many parts of these. I think we can go a little bit more into your training.
Yeah, of course.
Into other bits. And
it's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you for sitting down.
Yeah.
And chatting. Would you like to shout out your socials?
Oh yeah,
where can people find you?
Oh yeah. Well, Instagram is the main one that I use, and my TikTok. I think they're both the same handle. To be fair, at Knudson Fitness, CKNUD. All right, silent K.
There you go.
Knudson, Scandinavian vibes.
Amazing. Well, until next time. Thank you, Charlotte.